Hello, my name is Emma Larson, and today I would like to tell you about my grandmother, Audrey Walker Larson. I'll first tell you about her childhood, then I will tell you about her as I knew her, and then finally I will cover the impact she has had on mine and my family's lives. Audrey was born in Beach, North Dakota in 1921. Something that sets her apart from most people is that she was one of 10 children in her family. She was the second youngest, and her father left her when she was just a baby, so it was actually her mother and her older siblings that raised her. She grew up knowing my grandpa, Brennan Larson, but didn't really have much interest in him. When he was in 8th grade and she was in 4th grade, they had a box social at their school, and that's where the girls make up lunch and the boys are able to bid on them. And it's pretty competitive between the girls, and my grandpa actually ended up bidding on another girl's lunch, and that made Audrey very mad. During the Depression, there were not nearly as many jobs in the Midwest as there were in the Northwest, and Audrey's sister was already living in Oregon, so she came out here to look for work and stay with her sister. She actually ended up running into my grandpa that he was going to school at Willamette University. They ended up getting reacquainted and eventually getting married. They had 6 children together, and they lived in Oregon City. They eventually moved to Alaska when she was 50 because my grandpa was given the opportunity to become a principal at Juneau Douglas High School. And that's another thing that sets my grandma apart from many others. She was very adventurous, and she even climbed the Willow Mountains when she was 48. A story that I always remember hearing about them is that she sent my grandpa over here early, over to Alaska early to look at houses and choose one out and buy it. And so he did that, and when she finally came in to move all of their belongings in, she ended up hating it. She couldn't believe he would pick such an ugly house. So by then she only had 2 children living in the house, so she decided to get a job for the state of Alaska, working in the health department to make a little extra money for the family. She loved to cook and was famous for her cooking. She even grew her own vegetables, as well as blueberries and roses. She was a very active member of her church. She really believed in helping those in need, helping people who are less fortunate, befriending everybody, and just really looking out for others. Her favorite holiday was Christmas, and she really loved celebrating it. Her children grew up and got married, and eventually she had 11 grandkids. All of her children were fairly spread apart, so when her youngest children were very small, her oldest children were actually getting married and having kids of their own. A lot of my family members say that me and my sister are very lucky because we got to have kind of my grandma to ourselves. She didn't have any children of her own at that point, so she really spent some quality time with us and spoiled us. She loved spending time with all of her grandkids and would always have them over to stay the night or take them on trips to the beach. One of my favorite memories is when she would have me over to stay the night, and we would have cocoa parties, which is where we would have Cocoa Puffs and hot chocolate in the morning for breakfast. That was kind of a big deal to me at the time. She passed away in 1996. The day she passed, she began the day by reading Psalms, which shows how strong she was in her faith. Her death was obviously hard on my family. She would be very proud of who we are today. She now has 8 great-grandchildren, and she would be very proud of that. We carry on many traditions that were very important to her. We always end up sharing our favorite memories and just talking about her at every family gathering. Christmas always reminds us of her just because she loved it so much. Our faith is also very strong because of the influence that she had on us. These are just some of the things that make my grandmother, Audrey Larson, so special, from the way she was raised, the type of woman she was, and finally the legacy that she left. Thank you.